All right. Good afternoon, Valerie Milano, the senior editor of the Hollywood Times. And I'm here in Palm Springs right now. I'm usually in Hollywood, but I'm so glad to have our guest today, and I'm going to let her introduce herself. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Valerie. Hi, my name is Shoval Tshuva. I am based in New York. I'm a filmmaker, and I'm in New York right now. I was actually just in Palm Springs.
Oh, were you really? It's
Yeah,
warm.
it's nice.
It is. It is quite beautiful and warm. But yay, too bad I missed you, but we got each other now, and I'm so glad that I was one of the lucky ones to see your film, your short film, and we're going to be talking about your short film, Funky, and yay, okay, thanks. So, Cheval, what inspired you to create Funky, and how does the film's subject matter relate to your personal experiences or interests as a filmmaker?
So I kind of make the kind of film that I needed to see. I was assaulted when I was younger, and I wanted to make a film that it's about healing and it's about moving on. And I feel like all the stuff that I saw were kind of just focusing on the assault, and I just wanted to make something that will make other people feel better.
I love that. It did make me feel better, so that worked
Yeah.
out. And can you share any research or preparation process involved in making Funky? Like, what steps did you take to ensure the story and characters were authentically represented?
So I did work, I mean, to prepare myself as an actress for the role, because I also act in it. I did work with a coach, and my producer will also worked as an intimacy coordinator for the scene, which I think is very important. And I don't know, I was kind of lucky because I was able to pick who I'm gonna do that scene with. So I had two stunt talents. One was very serious. The other one kept telling me jokes the whole time, and it was like kind of like a perfect balance. We filmed the assault scene on a closed set, just like whoever needed to be there was there. So I guess that's the perks with directing that kind of a scene, that I was able to pick who's going to be around me and something like that. But I did talk to several organizations. Like, I made sure that the film starts with trigger warning, because I don't sometimes some films, even though the subject is triggering, they do not include that. And it was something that was really important for me to have, so everybody knows what they kind of like getting themselves into. But yeah, I did talk to organizations. I talked to like psychologists. I really wanted to stay true to my experiences. I wanted the trigger to feel like a trigger. So yeah.
That's very interesting. I'm glad you brought that up. So I would imagine that there were challenges. So what were some of the bigger challenges that you might have faced while um, developing the characters and the storyline in Funky? I mean, how did you overcome those obstacles, if there were any?
I feel like the obstacles were not in developing the script. The From the moment that I had the idea for Funky, it was very clear what the film was, and even the name. It was one of those moments you get as a writer, that everything is like super clear. But the obstacles were, I mean, navigating that scene was difficult, and also I was stressed the whole day. We had a whole filming day. It wasn't just like a one scene kind of a day. Like, we filmed the bar scene before that, and like the all of the flashbacks before that. So we were on a tight schedule. I had to make sure that everything was going on properly as a director, but also I had needed to kind of like prepare myself that this is what we're doing today. But I had an incredible team that was very there for me, and I feel very, very lucky for that, that everybody, even one of my actors was like, let's do a grounding exercise. So I was very, 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 very lucky to work with the people that I did and to have the support that I did. And not just that, like my family, my friends, everybody were very much there for me. And I feel very lucky about that.
Yes. And can you talk about the key themes and maybe messages that you hope to convey through Funky? Like, how do you want the audiences to interpret the story and the characters?
So when I think about the audience for Funky, I feel like there's two audience. There's the survivors of sexual assault and the people who didn't experience an assault, and are kind of like allies. So I feel like, as I said, I wanted to give something as someone like I kept the name of the main character is Ella because in Hebrew, Elea means for her, and I wrote it to the girl I was. So I it was like kind of like a gift to my younger self, and I hope that it will make her feel better. So I feel like that's the same thing with Survivors. I just wanted a film that deals with moving on and how do you move on. And I also wanted to be very vague with how long it took, because for me it took years. It wasn't like it's years in a 10-minute short film. But yeah, and I feel like for the allies, I just kind of like wanted to share light into something that maybe they don't know much about. Maybe they don't know how does PTSD works and how does flashback works. And yeah, so that's kind of what I wanted to people to take out of it.
Right. So on that note, as a filmmaker addressing unique and possibly challenging subject matters, what advice or insights can you share, you know, with also with other filmmakers who are looking to tell impactful stories through short films?
I feel like when you asked that question, the first thing that came into my mind was be authentic to the story. Like make sure you know what you're talking about. Make sure you know, like make sure you did, if it's not something that you experienced, make sure that you did the research. Make sure that you know as much as you can, because I feel like it's so important and so valuable. Like before I before I made the film, I'm the kind of person that in order to understand what I was going through, I needed to do a lot of research. So and this topic of psychology is something that really interests me regardless. I I feel like being authentic to the story and being authentic to the characters is really important.
Yeah, yeah, good. So to move on, like from this, are you planning anything next, or are there any future projects or themes that you're eager to explore following Funky?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, I am working on another short, which focuses on kind of like falling out of love and that weird stage in between completely letting go and like knowing someone is not right for you and like completely letting go of them. And I'm also working on some other stuff, but I feel like I tend to take difficult subjects and kind of like lighten them with comedy.
Right. Nice. Well, you make sure you keep us posted. We're the Hollywood Times Official is our YouTube channel, and HollywoodTimes.net is our website, and Hollywood Times dot the Hollywood Times dot today is our Instagram. And how can our viewers and readers find more about you and the films that you're working on, and especially find more about Funky? You're doing the circuit? You're doing the film festival
Yes.
tours?
Yes, we're doing the film festival. Our next screening is actually Wyoming, in Wyoming International on July 14th. But I keep posting about every single one of our screenings. So if anybody wants to check my social media, Shoval Tshuva, I always post about screenings and where Funky screens.
Beautiful. Well, keep up the great creativity that you have and your acting skills as well. And it
Thank
was
you.
great to meet you virtually, and maybe one day we'll meet in person.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, have a great rest of your day.
Thank
Thank you
you.
again for your time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.